On the Commissioners Court this morning. It is 9 a.m. And before we get started, again, Mr. Lawrence isn't here, so Mr. Gibbons, would you mind leading us in the invocation, and Commissioner McCam, the pledges?
Heavenly Father, we come giving you thanks and giving you praise because you're worthy and deserving. You're all-knowing and all-wise and everywhere at the same time. Nobody like you. So right now I pray for your guidance upon the decisions made in the court today. Be with the judge and commissioners and all that make this court what it is and should be. We need your guidance, though, Lord. In the mighty name of Jesus, help each and every one present today to be all that we can be. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Mr. Gibbons, thank you, sir, for stepping in for us. All right, well, the time is 9:02. We do have a quorum, so we will call this meeting to order. Item 1 is the citizens' comments, and do we have any at this time?
No, sir.
All right, seeing that we have none. Item number 1 is consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on March the 23rd, 2021. Are there any comments, additions, or deletions?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the minutes from Commissioners Court regular session March 23rd, 2021 as presented.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the minutes of the March 23rd meeting as presented. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 2, consider and discuss presentation from Purdue Brandon on delinquent court fines and collections report to Henderson County. And gentlemen, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you coming in. We tried to do this a little over a year ago, or a little less than a year ago, plus COVID stepped in.
Yes, sir.
And prevented that. So please introduce yourself to the court. And
All right. Judge McKinney, Commissioners, thank you for having us here this morning. My name is Doug Burnside. I'm a partner with the law firm of Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott. We are here today to give a collections report for your Justice of the Peace Courts. And with me today, I want to introduce the team that we brought. Another one of our attorneys is Patrick Woods. We have our Director of Business Development, Scott Muha. And in the back, we have our Client Liaison, Melissa Pace. And while Melissa's title, Client Liaison, doesn't seem that fancy, she's actually probably the most important member of our team. She actually has 17 years as a court clerk. And she served, I guess, the Haltom City and she was the head court administrator there, sorry. So really, she's the one that deals with your courts on a day-to-day basis. She's also the one that they go to for questions, and her experience is a valuable addition to our team, and we think a valuable addition for the Henderson County. A little bit about ourselves, Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott's law firm. We represent solely governmental entities, and virtually everything we do is in the collection of government receivables. This is our 51st year in existence, and this is all we've been doing our entire time. We have 14 offices across the state, including offices in Arlington, Garland, and Tyler, and those are the 3 offices that mainly service this account, plus we have a call center in Amarillo, which is where we have the majority of our callers for your account and for your citizens. We've been doing the collections for Henderson County for Judge Pollock since 2013, and then for the other JP since 2017. Our collections got off to a little bit of a slow start as the county was experiencing some growing pains when the court switched from their current software to the Odyssey system. I think it took a little bit longer. It was a little more difficult conversion than it was at first anticipated. But since that time, we've really taken off, and this past year has really been our best collections year yet, despite the difficult circumstances of COVID-19. We actually stopped collections in March of last year when COVID hit. We paused everything for about between 2 to 3 months, and it depended on the judge as to when they felt comfortable with us starting to contact people again. We didn't send out letters, we didn't make phone calls, so everything kind of ground to a halt. But once we felt more comfortable doing it to where the immediate crisis had passed, we got back on it. We've kind of had a little bit kinder and gentler approach in the last year. I think the judges have been a little bit more lenient on payment agreements, time served, indigency, that kind of thing, to where it's really helped us boost our collections, both in dollars collected and cases resolved. I'm going to let Patrick actually give you a little more details on what that is.
Thank you, Doug. Judge McKinney, Commissioners, thank you for having me. I will. I do want to just start off by saying my name is Patrick Woods. Of course, I'm an attorney that works with Doug to supervise the account. I want to give you some hard dollars and some hard numbers on collections. In your packet in front of you, I have a data table with some percentages and some dollar figures, and I've essentially condensed that into a nice pie chart that we can easily read. But what I want to start off by saying, as Doug said before, 2013 we represented your JP Precinct 2. 2017 we began collecting for the other precincts as well. So since 2017 we've collected for all of them. We have been asked to collect $6.1 million. That's essentially the turnover that we've gotten from all of the JP districts, okay? Now, of that $6.1 million, we have collected 2.3. And that's in the pie chart there in front of you. We've resolved an additional $1.3 million. Now, when I say resolved, that can consist of a fine reduction, a dismissal, jail credits, community service. These are things that, of course, are still up to each individual JP precinct and the judge that sits there, how they may resolve this. But we're still reaching out, and we've made contact with these people, urging and encouraging them through our collections module and program that we have for you to resolve some of these debts. So, your collection percentage has gone up, and I've got really good news for you. When we were here the last time, we felt like we had a good collection percentage, over 50%, but there was some, we heard from the court, say, please try to collect these extra dollars. Go after every single cent that we can. So we have monitored this account, we've really worked it hard, and I'm pleased to report to you today that your collection percentage has gone over 60%. So your overall collection percentage for your 5 JP districts is now at 60.1%. And that is an liquidated results, of course. No, of course, and that's not just hard dollars. That includes resolved accounts as well as hard dollars. I will tell you that industry standard is about 35%. And so internally, we of course shoot for 40%. We want to beat that curve, stay ahead of the average. So your collection percentage of 60% is a really good collection percentage. And I will also add that in all 5 of those JP districts, we've gone up. Collection percentage has gone up in every single one. So we're very proud of that. I do want to turn to just some other details and give you some numbers. In addition to, of course, collections, we've mailed out over 66,000 demand letters on your behalf. We have verbally contacted almost 30,000 debtors on your behalf. And just to show that it's not just about hard dollars collected and resolving, we've corrected over 9,000 addresses in your system. So we take the system, we scrub it, we try to replace with good addresses when we find these folks out there. We've corrected almost 4,000 phone numbers for debtors as well. And again, that just emphasizes the work that we're doing through the roles other than just always trying to collect the dollars. I mean, we want to collect for you so that we make money, but we want to help update the information and the data as well. And the last thing that I'll emphasize for you is that these are not secured debts. These are folks that are passing through Henderson County and ending up all over the country. We have to reach out, make contact with them, do the research, and use our collection skills to collect this money. This is not a secured debt with a lien or something like that, like you may see in the taxes. So if there are no questions on the data, are there any questions on the numbers before I move to the next slide?
I just want to ask one question.
Yes, sir.
How have y'all been finding the correct addresses for those people?
That's a good question. we have a software system, and we will research. We'll use the name that we have that's turned over to us, and we'll use that name to search, try to find an address, a phone number, anything that we can through our software, special collection software, to try to find these folks. And that leads into the next slide that I want to show you. Commissioners, if you'll look at this slide, this is an example of where we are able to find defendants all over the country. And through that software, we'll find you in Montana, North Dakota, all 50 states. We've been able to locate folks that have passed through Henderson County and gotten a ticket and skipped out and didn't pay it. So using the name, an address, a phone number, we'll find you somehow, try to find you somehow. Anything to add on that?
No, I think that slide is indicative of that, it's not just local people here that are getting the ticket, there's people from all over the country. I don't think we quite have all 50 states because we don't have Alaska and Hawaii, but they don't have to here much.
That's right. And I'll end by just showing you the last slide. This is an indicator of where most of your debtors are. Now, most of the high zip code areas are around Henderson County and around Athens, but of course, a high zip code area such as Tyler, high population center, Jacksonville as well showed up. So just gives you an idea of where most of the folks that owe the debt are coming from. And that's all I had. If there are no questions on the numbers, do you have anything to add?
No, do you have any further questions for us?
Do have a question. When we talk about collections, the definition of percentage, when you say we have a 60% collection rate, is that based off an annual number,
No,
or is that?
That's actually the overall history of the project.
Okay.
Because we're constantly getting, every month we're getting new cases turned over to us. Every time they write a ticket after it's been, in collections for 60 days with the county, it gets turned over to us. And so that's a constantly evolving number. So that's a history of the project number. And the 60% is actually total amount liquidated, which is hard dollars collected plus amounts that are resolved, be it through time served, indigency, death, then when they get removed from the rolls.
So I believe, is 2017 the start date of the project?
Well, 2017 was for precincts 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
We started with JP2 with Judge Pollack in 2013.
Right. So do you use 13 as your start date, 60%?
It's not on an annualized basis, it's on a total dollars. We've had a
Agreed.
grand total of
But does
$6.1 million.
That total
Some
starts
2013.
back in
Yes, sir.
2013.
Yes.
So 60% since 2013.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what
Yes,
I was
sir.
looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, and as you can see from this chart, JP2, Judge Pollack has had by far the most amount turned over to, just over 2.6 million.
Right.
So that's a large portion of it.
Okay.
We've been doing that since 2013.
Questions from the court? Judge Daniels, I'm sorry. Do you wish to make any comment? You work with this organization quite extensively. Do you have any comment that you would like to make?
I'd just like to say they are a very upfront company and they're easy to work with, and we've really appreciated all of their efforts. There's not been a time that we haven't asked them a question that they didn't respond in a positive manner. And that is, for our side of it, that means everything, because we just kind of set it and forget it on the collections part because we know they're doing their job.
Yes, sir. Well, I can say that prior to all of the justice courts going under a single organization, it really brought some focus to it. Prior to that, as if you do not know, it was up to each individual court, and it still is up to each individual court, but that's when the courts came together in 17 and chose to use one. And I think the fruits are really bearing out of that decision now from what we've seen here today. Anything else? Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Judge. We appreciate your efforts
Our
very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Judge McKinney. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Item 3, consider and take action on refund request for overpayment of taxes from the Henderson County Tax Assessor Collector. Good morning.
Good morning. I have one refund for $3,029.93 due to a 100% disabled veteran exemption being applied.
Questions? Comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the tax refund request from the Tax Assessor Collector's Office. All those in favor? Item passes.
Thank you.
ma'am. Item 4, consider and take action to allow Henderson County to contract with Smith County to hold Smith County inmates in the Henderson County Jail. Major,
Morning, Judge and Court.
good morning.
Good morning.
This is the interlocal agreement between Smith County and Henderson County with our new per diem rate that we proposed when they asked us for our new contract.
Our standard that we've always used.
Standards interlocal agreement, yes, sir.
Will Henderson County be doing transport under this agreement,
They'll be
or
responsible for their transports.
Smith County will?
Yes, sir.
Questions for the major?
Just like make one correction in section 2.14. There's a little wording on the city in there that needs to be changed up. It's probably just in the template.
It does, in there, it does. They didn't change that, good catch. On 2.14, it specifically states Henderson County Jail, Longview, Texas. So if we can get that corrected.
Okay.
And probably in our motion here, if we want to mention that as an amendment.
Yeah, because they've already signed this document and stuff, so we'll just have to.
And the per diem rate for this one is $40 per day.
Correct.
Okay. Court, questions, comments? Do we have a ballpark figure on what we're looking at as far as how many people?
We have 23 of their inmates in the jail today.
Is there a cap on it, or?
We haven't put a cap on it, no.
Okay, it's just what's available.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, we'll entertain a motion as amended.
I'll make a motion to approve the Henderson County contract with Smith County to hold Smith County inmates in the Henderson County Jail with corrections made.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the agreement with Smith County for the housing of inmates as amended. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes.
Thank you, Court.
Thank you. Item 5, consider and take action to set a public hearing for the 2021 Hazard Mitigation Plan. And we have our Fire Marshal / Emergency Management Coordinator, Shane Renberg, with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I know last week we had this on there to possibly adopt the plan, but as we were looking at it, we saw that we needed to have a second public hearing. We've already had one on it. I called and verified, and they said, yeah, we probably should have a second public hearing on it before we adopt it. So that's what we're trying to get done here today.
Okay, and my understanding is that 1 week is, with this situation, it's not like when we do a public hearing for roads where you have to go for 2 weeks, we can go as short as 1 week?
Yes, we can go as short as 1 week. We just have to have that second public hearing. The plan has already been pushed through TDM and through FEMA, so it's passed all of those levels. So this is the, of course, having the second public hearing and then adopting it is the last portion that the county has to do. We just have to make sure that the other cities adopt it as well.
Is there a time frame on that adoption?
90 days.
Is that for all entities?
That is for every entity in the county that's a part of our plan. So typically we adopt it first and then the cities follow. So there'll be a total of 20 entities adopting the plan.
So we're really got, in reality, since it was given the approval by FEMA and TDM in the timeline, we've got about 60 days left, a little longer.
We're a little bit over 60 days, so the approval has to come, or the adoption has to come 90 days from the date that FEMA approves it, and they sent us the letter. So we're a little over 60 days left, probably closer to 70.
This plan does a lot of things for the county and the participating entities. Can you tell the court what opportunities this plan opens up for?
Sure. Now that we have an approved FEMA, and of course I say approved, right now they're calling it approved pending adoption. But that opens up all of our avenues for grants and stuff like that we apply for. Not only grants for us, but grants for the individual entities. So of course, if you've seen it, they list all of the mitigation actions that they have inside of their entities. We have several ourselves here in the county, and we can apply for grants to apply the money towards those mitigation actions. It also, it really opens a lot of doors for everything. It's pretty much the cornerstone of what you have to be able to move forward in any type of government, as far as if you're wanting any type of FEMA or government help, monetary-wise. Also, if we do have disasters in the county and we've listed those disasters, we can get help to the citizens in the county quicker that way from FEMA. Whereas if we didn't have the plan, they can basically opt out. They won't help.
Having a mitigation plan is crucial and central to that aid and assistance from the federal government in times of disaster. Over the years, going back all the way to the Katrina event, moving through from 2007, you have seen a tightening of the restrictions or the guidelines that the federal government uses when assisting local entities in the time of disaster, requiring more. And this is, as the fire marshal said, the cornerstone of being able to operate all of those programs. Mitigation is exactly what it says. It helps prevent future disasters. And as what we've lived through the last year, there's a lot of opportunity here to address disaster mitigations from generations to from electrical generators to tornado preparation to anything that you can think of that would be involved in a disaster, and having this plan is the cornerstone of that. So, questions, comments?
Has this plan been approved like this before in Henderson County?
Yes, we had one in 2011 that was approved.
Through FEMA?
Through FEMA, all the way, because it goes from the county to TDM, and then once TDM approves it, it has to go to FEMA, and then FEMA approves it, and then of course the county adopts it. We had one in 2011, was the last one we had approved by FEMA.
And then do we do this every year?
No, sir, this is required every 5 years to update the plan. This is actually considered an update because we were updating from 2011, but if you look at the plan side by side, this was a complete redo of the plan so that we wouldn't have to continually redo the plan or revamp or hire somebody to come in and do it.
In 2011, did all 20 entities that you're saying that could get onto this approve that document in 2011?
The ones that were involved in the plan did. There were some that did not participate in the plan, but this time we got all of the cities in Henderson County to participate.
That's awesome.
Well, I will say one thing is that we made budget preparations last year to hire someone to get this done. A professional firm, we actually placed $150,000 in budget to do that very purpose. And the the fire marshal and his team was able to do this entirely in-house, actually saving the county and the taxpayers $150,000 for that purpose. So thank you very much for your efforts and your group's efforts, and all of the entities out there that joined in with this, because it takes all of them participating and being engaged to get it done. It's something that I'm very proud of, so thank you.
Thank y'all.
1 week on the 6th, that way we move it forward. If we pass it and get it adopted, that will spur the other entities to do it as well. So what if we set for April 6th at 9:15? Can we have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by, excuse me, Commissioner Spivey, to set a public hearing for 9:15 a.m. on April the 6th for the hazard mitigation plan. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 6, consider and take action on a resolution authorizing submission of the 2021-2022 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application. And I believe we have Ms. Brown with us. Ms. Brown?
Yes, sir. And we should have Shauna with Works present.
We do?
She was actually going to speak on these, and I was going to be here for any further questions.
Okay. Well, please come forward. And if you would, please state your name for the court.
Shauna McElfish, and I'm with Grant Works.
Great. Please proceed, ma'am.
Yes. This is a resolution. Basically, the county is applying on behalf of the Crescent Heights Water Supply Corporation, which Carla is here, if there's any questions regarding that. But basically, this resolution is stating that you approve the county submitting the application for $350,000. That you are giving the judge authorization to sign any contractual documents, that it is, if funded, giving the county judge, county clerk, auditor, and treasurer, those can always be changed at a later date, authorization to request for payment funds, basically the draws against the grant, if it's funded. And also it states that Crescent Heights is committing the required match amount of $17,500, and also taking care of any overages that may happen, say, in the bidding process. If, it comes in high, that they'll make that decision at that point. And are there any questions regarding this?
Okay. Questions?
This is just something we're sponsoring Crescent Heights on that's been through court before. Okay.
Yeah, we took some action several months ago, and it is for the upgrade of
Some water line.
water lines and the service area of Crescent Heights Water. So
It's two different areas that we're replacing the water line in.
and there are 2 more following items on the agenda that are associated with this as well. So if there's no further questions or comments on this, can we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to take action on the resolution authorizing submission of the 2021-2022 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner McCam, to approve the resolution authorizing the submission of the 2021-2022 Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application. All those in favor? Item passes. Now, the item 7 is consider and take action to approve Henderson County and Crescent Heights Water Supply Corporation's memorandum of agreement. So
this is obviously an agreement between the county and the water supply. If they are funded, it lays out the responsibilities of the county and the WSC.
and again,
And it is a requirement of the grant.
and that again states out the very thing you had said earlier of those responsibilities. I know that our county attorney has looked at all of this multiple times, and you're,
Yeah, and most of it on the legal side, again, it's one of these situations where my job is the easy part from the legal side. Yes, it's legal if you do it, but it really leaned more on Jessica because she's the one that needs to make sure that we're comfortable agreeing to everything we're agreeing to in there. So
Okay.
the only thing I did mention to Jessica is there was a typo in Henderson, was spelled
Yes.
Henderin. I think the S was missing
Yes, and we did fix that.
on the agreement. So that was the only thing that I saw, but yes, I've looked at everything and then on the exchanges, so.
all right. Ms. Brown, do you have any comments in on this portion?
No, sir, we were able to handle everything as far as getting changes that needed to be made and reviewed by Clint, updated in Henderson County. So I think everything looks good.
All right. Questions from the court? All right, well, if we can get a motion with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'll make that motion with the judge's authorization to sign.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the Henderson County and Crescent Heights Water Supply Corporation Memorandum of Agreement with the county judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 3, consider and take action to adopt the Henderson County Citizen Participation Plan for the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program. So what do we have here?
This is a procedure basically that, well, TDA does require it. If anyone has a complaint regarding the grant, if funded, that these are the complaint procedures that will be followed upon them submitting that complaint. Also, and I mean, it's pretty straightforward as well. If, you agree to provide any technical assistance, if there's any public hearings, and also, provide public hearings when necessary. It's the standard, basically, state of Texas requirement, 72 hours post, that type of deal.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. And if you've had them previously, any grants, you have also passed this.
Right. Questions, comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved. For the judge's authorization for signature.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the County of Henderson Citizen Participation Plan for the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program with the judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate
We're
it.
excited for you. I know y'all are really looking forward to getting this project rolling, so thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all.
All right, item 9, consider and take action on accepting the fiscal year 2021 Indigent Defense Grant Program Award. Ms. Brown?
Yes, sir. So this year, our award for indigent defense is $70,512. This is based off the expenditures reported for 20, which totaled $786,773.96. And we're just accepting the award today.
Questions for Ms. Brown? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the fiscal year 2021 Indigent Defense Grant Program Award. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 10, consider and take action to apply for FEMA Public Assistance Program for DR 4586. Ms. Brown?
Yes, sir. This is disasters for the winter storms. The funding does require a 25% match, so it's a 75% reimbursement. Currently, only category B, which is emergency protective measures that were taken during the time of the winter storm, are open to request reimbursement, which Henderson County's estimated work for that is $71,125.13. We did have category E damage, which would be permanent work to buildings. And it looks like at this time we won't be able to claim it, but we still are tracking it. And for our insurance adjustment, that was about $78,000 worth of damage. So right now we're just trying to approve to apply, and then if other categories open, we'll be able to apply for the full amount.
So category B being only is the only portion that's open. The category
Yes.
E, damage to buildings, is not open as of yet.
No, sir, it's not open.
Okay. Questions for Ms. Brown? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve to apply for the FEMA Public Assistance Program for DR 4586.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the application. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Item 11 is consider and take action to appoint Commissioner Mark Richardson to the County Insurance Committee, replacing Commissioner Chuck McCam. We do have an insurance committee that is deeply involved in helping the county navigate each year our insurance renewal, not only for property, but health, liability, the whole gambit of those. Commissioner McCam, would you like to add anything here?
Well, I mean, I ended up on about 4 committees whenever we had a couple deaths and due to a death in the court. And then we had 2 new members coming on in this last election cycle. So it's just the way it failed. And I think it's time to spread out the committees where all of us are on those committees.
Yeah, we appreciate your efforts on there. We tend to draft individuals sometimes for committees because there is quite a lot that we have to do that requires that committee investigation. And Commissioner Richardson has said he wouldn't take on the challenge. Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate both of you and your efforts and future efforts involved in this. Any other comments on making this change to our insurance committee? Ms. Lee, you got anything to add? You're on the committee as well.
No, I think it's been covered.
All right. Well, entertain a
Hearing
motion.
none, I move that we appoint Commissioner Mark Richardson to the County Insurance Committee, replacing myself, Chuck McCain.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, seconded by Commissioner Spivey to appoint Commissioner Mark Richardson to the County Insurance Committee, replacing Commissioner Chuck McCam. All those in favor of the motion? Those abstain? Item passes.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, every now and then, somebody gets shanghaied. That's why it's very important for you to show up at court when we have these committee appointments. Anyway, item 12, consider and take action to approve the use of county labor and equipment for historical preservation at the Fisher Robinson Cemetery located on Robbins Road in Athens, Precinct 4. Commissioner Richardson.
Yes, Court. This historic cemetery is located on Robbins Road. Precinct 3 and Precinct 4 has teamed together before and done a cleanup on this cemetery on some land that they have there. And actually, these are unmarked graves. If anybody knows the history of this cemetery, the headstones were removed, I think, back in the late 60s, early 70s, maybe, for some reason. And so no one knows where the graves are located, but it is a historic cemetery. And there's another area of land that needs to be cleaned up. And they've sent us a letter to assist them under Section 713028 of the County Care of Cemeteries older than 50 years. use labor and equipment.
Questions for the commissioner? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to supply labor and equipment for the historical preservation of the Fisher Robertson Cemetery located on Robbins Road in Athens, Precinct 4.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner McCann, to approve the use of county labor and equipment for historical preservation at the Fisher Robertson Cemetery located on Robbins Road in Athens, Texas, located in Precinct 4. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 13, receive financial reports. We have none of those today. Item 14 is consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheets. And I believe we have Ms. Harris with us today.
Good morning.
Morning.
I do have payroll total for biweekly 6.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the payroll disbursements totals for biweekly number 6. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes. Thank you, ma'am.
I also have a February account cash sheet.
Do we have that? We don't have that in our backup. If we can, let's hold that to the next court. We don't have it in our backup here today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item 15, consider and take action on submitted contracts, and we do have one today, and this is with L3 Harris in conjunction with our communications project. As many of you know, county has been in the process now of going on almost 3 years as far as developing a new emergency communication system to be used by our first responders, sheriff's department, law enforcement. We originally agreed to this, I believe it was the middle of 19, about June of 2019. And that contract was for $4.5 million. And contract provided for a P25 7,800 megahertz digital communication system. Well, we have been running along really well. It's kind of amazing how fast that it has gone. We have, in the beginning, it was a 4-tower site, of which 2 of the towers were rented towers that were requiring space roughly up to, I believe it was, almost $100,000 a year in rental expenses. But there's been some changes through this time. We've ended up moving from rental locations to owning our own towers. As you know, we went into agreement with the Forestry Service on a location to erect a tower that was actually at no cost to us because the state of Texas was so well to work with us, and the Forestry Service was. We ended up looking at another piece of property there at LaRue for a new tower site as well. And what we're doing here is more or less bringing all that into contractual form. We've had the addition of those 2 towers moving away, which Mr. Vincent, if you would, you can speak to that somewhat. You have been on the technical side working with that and actually ran some numbers on what we were looking at in the short term, how this was a better financial decision.
Yes, sir. And when we signed the contract, and it was June 2019 with L3 Harris, we were looking at an American tower on Jennings Mountain, and we were looking at the One Ring Tower in LaRue. The Jennings Mountain, we talked to them, and they were wanting $4,900 a month lease, plus any tower upgrades up front that would need to be done for our equipment, with a 3% increase per year on a 14-year contract. And I believe that was going to work out to be about $1.1 million. The one ring tower was going to be around $2,500 a month. We never got a solid number from them, but it was going to take $85,000 in upgrades. So over a 14-year span, just to compare to the one ring tower, we were looking at just under $600,000 over that 14 years. And by installing our own towers, we're spending actually less money than what we would spend in that 14 years in lease. And that's not including the addition of the fifth tower that we're looking at putting up now.
Chief, how long have we been on the current system?
It's been in place since 1974 is our best estimate.
So
about 46 years, 45, 46 years.
So at least with our current system, we've had 40 years plus of service.
Absolutely.
So you can see that this is not, when we're going out and purchasing a vehicle or some of these others, the lifespan of this is much greater and much longer, allowing us an opportunity for greater savings as we move along by owning our own towers. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
It's going to have the longevity to outlast our career.
Okay. The amendment we have here before us covers that addition along with extra capability of the Beyond capability and some other items along in it. We did actually end up looking at another location. If many of you will remember, we went into agreement with Crossroads ISD for a piece of property in that location to erect a fifth tower, of which we actually were able to receive $500,000 in grant money to assist in the development of that site. So basically, we were getting a $1 million location fully equipped at an expense to the county of $502,000 as a part of the contract. So that's what this agreement is here today, is to bring all of those changes from the original, where we were moving from rented towers to procured towers, and to cover the expansion of the fifth tower in this, so that everything, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Commissioner, you involved in the very beginning.
This is a project that's come together a lot better than I think some of us thought it would in the beginning. It's been a lot of work, but I think with the things we've done to be able to put our own towers up, they're all in strategic locations. They've been mapped, they've been engineered. We're going to have a complete circle on our communication system to where in the prior agreement we had what we call a dog leg going out to the Cedar Creek area, and if anything would ever happen in that area, and we know, the way the storms have been going lately, that's the way they pass through is through that gun barrel area, is we'd have lost that whole side of the county. So I think this is going to be an integral part of our system. It's going to complete our circle. We can lose any tower and not lose communications to the rest of them because they all feed back to each other. It's moving a lot faster in the last couple of months, or the last 4 or 5 months, than it moved for 2 years. So it's refreshing, but I think this is something that the public is going to appreciate, with our police department, sheriff's office, all the first responders being able to use this system, being able to talk clearly with each other. We got an email yesterday that our cores, which is what runs the system, we're talking to each other. So it's just about ready. And I think that this whole project, and when it comes down to it, with adding that fifth tower, we're still spending less money than we originally started out on the whole project on. And that's with us. That's with a 5 or 6 tower system where we was renting all but 2 of them. And in the instance when we finish this, we'll be renting no towers. We own 3 of them, and we're in conjunction with some other entities on 2 of them. And the only thing we're doing is on 2 pieces of property, we're paying some lease on the property.
Right.
So I think this after it's all said and done, I think we came out pretty lucky on our tower sites.
Commissioners, questions, comments?
Well, I know I got here, I guess, right 6 months before that June, but it just seems like that was one of the Henderson County residents that what they were pushing for was that, and it just seems like it's like Commissioner Camp said, it's just gotten better the further as you go. And I told you yesterday, Judge, that I think I was a big proponent of this right here, of renting towers, and we're spending a lot of money up front, but it's a whole lot of savings on the back end that we do it. So I commend Jody, you and your team. Is that the emergency management or what committee is that?
In actuality,
I've got it
this
in my head.
project has involved a huge amount of people.
Well-
When you look at it, you had the original committee that was formed, that had the sheriff and Commissioner McCam and Commissioner Giesland involved. And of course, at Commissioner Giesland's passing, I took over his location. You've had IT, the sheriff's department, and their involvement in it, because in reality, the discussions and the processes of this project began years ago in its formation. Not only that, the work with the audit office on getting bringing in the grant funding, fire marshal's office, and particularly in dealing with the fire departments, Mr. Vincent and them, it has been a countywide effort, is the best way to put it.
Our hats off, I say for myself, to all the team members that's done this, and I think that we've done a great job, and or they have done a great job to put Henderson County with a red dot on the map of everybody looking at us now. So thank y'all.
Any other comments? Well, it is an addition of $1,843,188.73 for full disclosure. But the return on this investment is going to be absolutely fantastic, and money well spent, and probably done in the most conservative way possible. I know we have Mr. Terry Maddox here with us from L3 Harris, and he has taken a beating from everyone for a number of years, and in the last 6 months on a weekly basis. So, Chief from the Sheriff's Department, do you have any other comments you'd like to make?
The one thing that we get bogged down in some of the details of this system, but essentially it's here to help save lives. The citizens' lives, the deputies, the officers, paramedics, everybody that relies on that system is our backbone. So at the end of the day, I hope it will help us protect our deputies, our firemen, all the people that are relying on that system to be able to get them information that's critical at the time. So thank y'all for getting this done for us.
I'd like to make one more statement also. When you throw out that $6.whatever million statement, is that whenever we put our last tower up and we approve that tower in January of 2022, hopefully in January of 2022, this project will be completely paid for.
Exactly.
The money that we in the last 3 years have been able to budget, and we've been paying along over the last 3 years, it'll be a project that is completely paid for come January 2022 when our 5th tower is put up and the system is on full go. So I think, we should commend the county for being able to do that without having to lay more pressure on the taxpayers.
Agreed, and an excellent point, because someone has to pay for it, and being able to handle it without a debt instrument, which is a route that most entities have to take. I'm very proud that we've been able to do this without that, so that's a very good point.
And of the $1.8 million amendment, 500,000 be reimbursed of that.
That's another good point. You know, it may be an amendment of 1.8, but it's actually in real dollars 1.3 due to the grant application that we were able to receive through EDCOG in the state. And with that, that goes back to the audit office and their hard work. And actually, I remember when we were all working on the grant application, there were several departments involved making that happen. So, anything else? All right. Well, if there's no further comment, we'll entertain a motion with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'll make the motion to approve the contract with L3 Harris with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the contract amendment with L3 Harris with the county judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes. Thank you all. Item 16, consider and take action on request of right-of-way permits, and I believe we have one today in Precinct 3.
Yes, I have a standard right-of-way permit with Bethel Ash Water Supply Company on County Road 3800, which is 100 feet total, and it's a private to private.
Questions for the commissioner?
If there are no questions, I move that we approve the proposed utility line activity with Bethel Ash Water Supply Company to bore under County Road 3800 at 4550 County Road 3800.
Second.
With your authorization.
With the Commissioner's authorization, fine.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the right-of-way agreement with Bethel Ash Water Supply Corporation for a road bore under County Road 3800. All those with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 17, consider and take action on submitted budget amendments. Ms. Lee.
Yes, I have two small budget, well, one small budget amendment and the other one's rather large. I need approval for Commissioner Spivey to pay for her new equipment she just purchased from Russ County. She financed it and we need to recognize the income on that to be able to pay it in full.
Okay. Questions or comments? If not, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make the motion to accept the budget amendments.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the budget amendments as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes. Item 18, consider and take action on payment of bills. Is that going to be you, Ms. Lee?
No, I'm going to handle it for Ms. Maple today.
All right.
So due to livestock show, we really hadn't planned on paying bills this week, but Russ County has been very gracious while we got the financing process. And so I would like to go ahead and get this one bill paid to Russ County so that the Commissioner Spivey can enjoy her equipment.
Any questions from the court? If not, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make the motion to accept the 2021 bills of $180,000.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the 2021 bills in the amount of $180,000 and no cents. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 19, consider and take action on submitted plats.
Two in precinct two.
Two?
All of these are paid.
Thank you, ma'am. 2 and 2. Commissioner.
Yes, Judge. Both of them are going to be in the Pinnacle Club area. The first one is, as always, they're combining 2 lots and making one in Section B. All signatures are there, and the POA has signed off on it.
This is Phase 1, Section B. I was looking at the other one, sorry.
I'm sorry, I went to Pinnacle Club Phase 1, Section B, Lot 1, 602, I'm sorry, 552 and 553.
Questions for the commissioner? If not, entertain a motion.
Judge, I move that we accept the final replat of Pinnacle Club Phase 1, Section B, the replat of Lot 552 and 553, creating Lot 552R for filing purposes only.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the replat in the Pinnacle Club Phase 1, Section B, creating Lot 552R for filing purposes only. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes.
And going right down the road, they're taking Lot 603 and 604 and combining it into 603-R. And all signatures are intact along with the POA, or HOA.
Questions for the commissioner? Entertain the motion.
Judge, I move we approve the final replat of Lot 603 and 60R, creating Lot 603 and 604, creating Lot 603-R in Pinnacle Club Phase 1, Section B for filing purposes only.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the replat in Pinnacle Club Phase 1, Section B, creating lots 603R for filing purposes only. All those in favor? Item passes.
Thanks, Court.
All right. Do we have signatures?
Oh.
Item 20 is open and consider bids, and I do not believe we have any of those
I
today.
was distracted.
It's okay. It's Tuesday. Is the resolution? Well, item number 21, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you all for being